First off, I'm gonna say that white passing has lost its meaning. White passing was something that African Americans and other minorities had to do in order to survive and prosper back then. And sometimes that didn't even work. But white people, specifically white Hispanics and Latinos, have gentrified the term and took it entirely. Something that we always do. We always be taking shit that ain't ours. The white Spaniards taking the Mexicans' land, etc. I'm a white person. Boom. Check it out. I mean, open your eyes and look. I am a white person. But I'm also Hispanic. Just because I'm Hispanic doesn't mean I'm a person of color. That brings me to the next part. White Hispanics and Latinos use the term white passing because they don't want to call themselves white. So they want to say they're people of color, aka POCs, when they aren't. They're literally fucking white. I can already see the white Hispanics typing, just because you have white or fair skin doesn't mean you're Caucasian. First of all, let's talk about the term fair skin. You know, when you say fair skin, you're saying that white skin is better because that's what fair essentially means. So I can't really stand that term fair skin. I'm just gonna call it peach skin because that's the color of white people. Second of all, Caucasian is an outdated term. It comes from the theory that white people are from the Caucasus Mountains, which was proven to be false, like a long time ago. It's a made up theory by a German anthropologist, and it was proven to be false in his time. Here's what the real Caucasian people look like. Yeah, not white. People who think if you're born in a certain country, then you're not white. People tend to use Caucasian as a way to identify people who are of European descent, specifically people who are Nordic Anglo, which the Caucasus Mountains aren't in like the Nordic region of Europe, or German, or something else. But here's the thing, you don't have to be Nordic Anglo to be white, or a German to be white. Hell, there was a time where Germans weren't even considered white in America. There was a time Italians weren't considered white. There was a time where Irish people weren't considered white. Do you see my point? Okay, I'm gonna show you a picture of some white Latinos and Hispanics. I'm gonna start off with something simple. The King and Princess of Spain. And here are some others. Now, meet Anthony Emuela Labrador Sierra, the white Hispanic who snuck into a school to get close to the, little schoolgirls. God, we're always the fucking usual suspects. We gotta do better. Anyways, look at this guy. If you're saying he isn't white, then you're being willfully ignorant. Either that or you're blind. All you have to do is open your eyes and see this is a white guy. He's not quote unquote white passing. He's none of that. No, he's white.
One thing important that you said too right now, which is very important to me to prove this point. Right now, you said, a lot of people, Ricardo, that are white tea presenting of Mexico and Latin America, they come here and they think they're white tea. A lot of people say that too. A lot of, why do Latinos think they're white tea? They are. There's a lot of them. They, in fact, are. There's a lot of Mexicans that are white tea. There's a lot of people in Latin America that are white tea. Why is it difficult to figure out? Why do people have a difficult time understanding that Latinos is not a monolith? Mexicans not a monolith. We're all different races, just like in the United States. In the United States, there's blancos, there's negros, there's, whatever. Same in Latin America. Why do people not understand this? In Latin American countries, it's the same thing. There's black, there's Asian, there's Middle Eastern, there's European, there's indigenous people. So when people say things like, oh, these Latinos, they think they're white, they are. Plenty of them. Can't you see? I mean, turn on the TV, turn on Univision. Look at what you see. Puro blanco. Ojos azules, ojos verdes, pelos elote. Like, what do you thought these people were? But so I'm confused a lot of times when I hear people like, "Oh, Mexicans think they're white tea." Uh, Mexicans is not a monolith. Mexicans is not a race. Mexican is a country filled with a multitude of different people of different racial and ethnic and cultural backgrounds. I could even go as far as when people say, "Oh, the Mexican culture." What does that mean? It's like saying American culture. What is that? Because in Mexico, you have the mainstream culture, which is the European influence, but then you have the indigenous people's cultures too. But unfortunately, when people say Mexican culture, whose culture are you talking about? You ain't talking about indigenous people's culture, including the language, Mixteco, Zapoteco, Otomi. No, you talking about what? Virgen de Guadalupe. You talking about Espanol. You see,
Yeah.
everything is white tea in Latin America. The mainstream representation of Latinos in general is white tea people. So that's why I'm confused a lot of times when people come on here talking about, oh, these Latinos, these Mexicans think they're white tea. There's plenty of them that are.
Now you're probably asking, why did you even make this video in the first place? Well, the reason was I saw a lot of white people who were trying to infiltrate into people of color's spaces by claiming their Hispanic heritage. First of all, I am not trying to be a white savior, nor am I trying to play the protector of minorities. None of that. I'm just trying to educate people, alright? Here's a TikTok page that I found. I want to make a video on this, mainly because everything this person tries to sprout is kind of bullshit. But other than that, I really got nothing else to say. My guess is I'm probably gonna get a lot of people in the comments calling me wrong, and a lot of those people are gonna be butthurt white Hispanics saying that they're white passing and not white because they don't want to be called white. I just want to say the only people that try to claim Hispanic and Latino as quote unquote races are the people who are white but they don't want to admit it. So they just fucking cling to that Latino heritage. They want to like be a person of color. They want to be a minority because white people find it cool to be oppressed, even though it's it's generational trauma that real minorities have struggled with. The only other people that say Latino and Hispanic are race are minorities who are either A, joking most of the time, or B, in rare times are being dead serious. Now, in those rare times, those people are either ignorant or misinformed on the topic. Alright, that's all I had to say for this video. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. On a side note that I want to end off here, I don't want you guys going away from this video thinking that I'm trying to say everyone who is Latino or Hispanic is white. It's for the white people. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that Latino is not a race. Hispanic, Mexican, it's not a race. It's a diverse group of people. It's a multitude of people. That's what I'm trying to say. The reason why I made this video, like I said in the video, was because I saw a lot of white people trying to get into minority safe spaces under the guise of them being Hispanic, even though Hispanic isn't a race. And I saw a lot of misinformation and ignorance about that. So I'm not trying to say all of them are white. I'm trying to say there's some of them who are white, there are some of them who are black, there are some of them who are Asian. It's a multitude of people. It's a multitude of people. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. See ya. Peace.